Welcome, cosmic explorers, to our celestial haven. Today we have a remarkable treat in store for you. We are diving headfirst into the enigmatic universe of Andromedan Contactee, Alex Collier. But before we embark on this cosmic journey, remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell to join our ever-expanding community. Trust us, you won't want to miss a single moment of the awe-inspiring content we're about to unleash. Sit back and relax and listen to Alex Collier discussing who or what is Lucifer.
Who or what is Lucifer, and how does it relate to our history, as well as how the deep state is using, or more likely being used, by the Luciferian agenda, attempting to steer the future?
Oh. This is an interesting thought. This is an interesting thing to unravel. So I have talked about this in the past in little bits and pieces. But let's just, for now, for this moment, unravel Lucifer. That persona is more or less a title. Now, that originally comes out of the Old Testament. I want you to be aware of the fact that the New Testament is a plagiarized version of Chaldean history. Okay? That was taken by the Ibri, and they basically rewrote it, writing themselves into the picture. Now, let's just hypothetically say that Yahweh is Enki. Let's hypothetically say that the opposing god to Yahweh would be Enlil. And let's just hypothesize that Jehovah worked for Enlil as a subordinate officer. And the 40 years in the desert was a weekend to these people because they lived thousands of years. So instead of giving real, genuine names, the names of the personages had to be changed. Now, if you go to the Greek, you go to the Sumerian, you go to the Roman, you go to the Indian texts, you even go to the Arab texts, much of which still has not been read. The Arab texts I'm referring to. They tell very similar stories, but the names of the players are different. And that's because of a change in language. Now, the way it was done in the Old Testament was extremely clever. And in that, you also have several other books which are not in the Old Testament. That would be the Torah and the books of Moses. And those specifically are about magic. Magic. And we're going to get into that in the next webinar. So, who is Lucifer? The title, the name. It has fit several different personages who weren't given the title Lucifer throughout the 450 to 525,000 years. Currently, the living personage that would fit would probably be Marduk. And essentially what it is that that personage represents a position that would contradict the ruling extraterrestrial races. Now, all of them, regardless of the fact that they came from another dimension, are extraterrestrial. They may be multidimensional beings, but in their dimension, they are physical and they're an extraterrestrial. You understand? Just because they come from there to here does not mean they're anything other than an extraterrestrial, or an interdimensional and an extraterrestrial are in fact the same. There is no reason to complicate this with all this other stuff that everybody does. Just because they come from one dimension of physicality to another doesn't mean they aren't physical. Because in their dimension, when they travel to another star system, they're an extraterrestrial from another star system. It's a no-brainer. The Luciferian agenda is no different than many agendas, than the agenda from the Orion group, or for a time the Aldebarans, for a time the reptilian races, for a time the Zeta 2s from Zeta B, and many other races throughout our galaxy and the other. They want power and control over others. That's basically what it represents. And to varying degrees, they are very manipulative, very destructive, very cunning. Now, I realize that, you see, this is really complicated, and just to throw another curve into what I was just talking about. In the books, the Gods of Eden by William Bramley, which I suggest everyone read. Literally, everyone read. They ought to have kids in school read this stuff. This book, based on his research, there was a skirmish, a fight between two brothers, Enki and Enlil. Enlil was the full-blooded son of Anu, who was considered the Ishwish god, per se. And there were issues between the brothers. Enki lost. He was humiliated. And, he who writes history, he who wins the war writes history. And based on the information that he's been able to trace, Enki was labeled Lucifer for a time. So, what's fascinating is that, now you have the Vatican, the church, who for 2,000 years pretended to know the difference between right and wrong. And frankly, they didn't give a shit one way or the other. They were all about staying in power. They're now praying and worshiping to Lucifer. And they're doing it openly. Which means that ultimately the truth is going to be coming out here very, very soon. As to exactly what all that means. And you do realize that once all of that is brought out into the open, who each personage is, which star system each personage comes from, what their contribution and malevolence was towards humanity, many books will become completely irrelevant. Now, that's not to say there isn't a creator. There is. There is a generator of dimensions. But it's none of the personages in these books. We're in for exciting times. You know, this, you know, I have tried several times in the past to talk about this stuff, and I just got crucified for it. And I don't know if it's the time for that just yet. I simply don't. Because I still have loved ones I'm trying to protect. So let's revisit that question, but I think I gave you enough to at least get you to research and pique your curiosity and to ask yourself questions. And in order to ask yourself those questions, you have to think about the issues in a very different way. In other words, separate yourself from the dogma and look at things objectively. And in doing so, you will see things differently. It's like taking the entire universe and trying to put it into a chapter this big and have it make sense. And you can't do it. You just can't do it. Because this tells you nothing. Literally, it tells you nothing. All right. I'm probably in a lot of trouble already.
The time has come to transcend boundaries and embrace the cosmos with open minds and open hearts. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and join the celestial conversation by leaving a comment below. Prepare to embark on a journey that will reshape your understanding of the universe. As we part ways for now, always remember to keep your cosmic curiosity alive, for the cosmos is boundless, and the wonders it holds are infinite. Together, we will uncover truths that defy conventional understanding. Until our next celestial encounter, we extend our heartfelt gratitude for your continued support, which fuels our mission to shed light on the universal mysteries that surround us. If you would like to see Andromedan Contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we host an online seminar 3 times a month on a Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information and dates of upcoming online seminars, please visit alexcollier.org. Please click on one of the above videos to seek more of Alex Collier's knowledge.